Hello. I was gonna make a script for this, but every time I tried, I either procrastinated or just tried to explain everything at once, and it just didn't work out well. So I'm kind of just throwing stuff at the wall here and doing this relatively unscripted. Okay, so as you probably saw from the title, I'm looking to make a game. More specifically, a survival horror game set on Pluto. So, yeah, let me tell you the story about that. So, basically, this all started one day. I was thinking to myself in the shower, what if game put on Pluto and there could be these cool space helmet thingies or something? That's kind of what the original idea was. So that was back when quite literally my only experience with developing games was Scratch. So later, now that I've gotten a better understanding of code, I was watching a bunch of pretentious video essayists talk about horror games, and I thought, maybe I could make my own horror game. It could be really cool, and I could use that idea I came up with for a game on Pluto earlier as a basis. And here we are. So, when I started working on this project, I started with a character controller, you know, how you usually do. And then I've started making some models, like I made this one here for the tool the player's going to use. I made this for the personnel doors. They open and close, look at that. Pretty cool, right? And then I got these imported into Godot and started doing some coding. Like for the personnel doors, I figured out a system that uses an area 3D to detect the player, and it automatically closes the door when they leave. You know, little things like that. I did a bunch of those, and it eventually added up to create something more complex. After I did the personnel doors, I started working on a rig for the player character. Now, originally, I was planning on just having the player be a floating pair of arms. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that, but that's how it is for right now. So, as you can see, this is the model I made, and here it is imported into Godot, and I don't know why all the points are in the middle. No, never mind. So, now that I've made the model for the arms, and I've imported it into Godot, I got working on this little armband thingy that's gonna be used as the UI for the player. Like a diegetic inventory, you know, a lot more immersive. So, once I got that imported, I got to go down the rabbit hole of viewport textures, and that was fun. So yeah, now that I have a viewport texture, I constructed a basic placeholder UI. Show you a picture. This is like the only surviving picture I have. So after I got that done, I started working on another thing. The primary interaction system that'll be utilized by the game. This tool, I've decided to call it the wrench, at least for now. That's its working name. So basically, the wrench is going to allow you to interface with different devices, repair stuff, and utilize upgrades that you find around the map. Okay, so in addition to the wrench, I also made these things called wrench slots. These can be interacted with the wrench. So I have the model here, and I've imported it here to Godot. And now that it's imported, I can animate it, I can do a bunch of coding stuff to it, and I've set up an area controller, both on the player and on the wrench controller. Now, the player, with a little help from inverse kinematics, the player could use the wrench to interact with it. Yay! After I finished the wrench interaction system, or finished it for now at least, I've started working on the inventory system. Now, I will concede I did have a bit of help from a tutorial, that tutorial will be linked down below. You should go check it out. It's pretty interesting. It taught me how to use resources in Godot, and I've made some cool stuff with it since. Once I finished with the tutorial, I modified the system to suit my needs, specifically with the upgrade slots and whatnot. After I finished with the basic inventory system, I started working on some interior design. These are not the old tiles. These are the old tiles. I don't have footage of them in engine because that was before a new version control was a thing. But these are the new ones. As you can see, they look a whole lot nicer. This is going to be the interior for laboratory areas. There are going to be 3 main types of areas. Currently is what I'm planning. There's going to be residential, industrial, and laboratory. And I'm going to have to make separate tile sets for each one, so yay. Oh yeah, after all that, I also started coding the monster AI because that's kind of important. I don't have any B-roll footage of the monster in its early state again, because that's before I discovered version control was a thing. So I can show you the monster's current AI. Basically, the monster's AI works with using a state machine. Now, there are a few states. There's patrol with the player in the building. There's patrol without the player in the building, which I haven't added yet. There's hunting, chasing, there's going to be a scattering, and there's also inactive, which you'll never be able to guess what that does. Now, patrol with player, basically, the monster selects an exploration node nearby him and goes to it. Stops there for a bit, and then he waits, and then he finds a new node. Now, if the player makes noise near the monster, it'll go into hunting mode. Instead of choosing a random node within a distance of the monster, it'll choose a random node within a distance to the player. Hopefully, with this, the monster can get close to the player and whatnot. Now, chasing mode is comparatively simple. Basically, it sets its target position directly to the player and moves towards it at a greater speed. You know, exactly as you'd expect. Patrol without player in the building is basically just a timer to when the monster moves to the player's building, because there's going to be multiple buildings in my game. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. And scatter, basically, the scatter, I haven't nailed down exactly how it's going to work, but I want it to allow the monster to just get away from the player or go back to a dark area. Because one of the monster's whole deals is that it's going to hate light, basically. So if you're in a lit up area, you're kind of safe. And that's gonna play into another mechanic that'll get into either later in this devlog or in a different one. Probably in a different one, when I actually get around to implementing that. Another thing I've implemented is areas. Basically, areas each have their own power banks that devices in the area can draw from. And when the power runs out, it turns off all the devices. And I'm going to go more in depth to that later. And the most recent thing I've implemented is a vehicle template system where I have this object, it's a seat, and I can have it as a child of a vehicle, and it'll automatically send movement instructions up to it and allow the player to mount and dismount it. Pretty cool. So, yeah, that's about all I have so far. I have some pretty big plans for this game. I hope I'll be able to make more of these devlogs, and hopefully more than 5 people will know that this game exists because of these. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Have a nice day, and thanks for listening to me ramble.